up? I'm DeTiger, and I'm here at Sweetwater hanging out with my new friend.
Hey, I'm Yvette and I'm here at Sweetwater hanging out with my new friend. I've seen some of your videos. You're a killer player. How did you even get into the style you play? And
I got into it because my older brother started playing drums when he was like 10, and I was 7 at the time. I was like, okay, I want to like play something too. I want to play an instrument as well. Like, you know,
don't want to be left out.
Yeah, I didn't really want to be left out, and I was inspired by that. And yeah, I chose bass. I don't know. I think I had seen a lot of people like play guitar maybe, and I didn't really see many women, especially playing bass. Yeah, and I like picked it up and I just fell in love with it.
Low key, as a guitar player, I always thought bass was so cool. Like, I love writing bass parts, and I think it's
so fun.
Like, the rhythm section of a band is so powerful. I know everyone loves to make bass player jokes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard
I've definitely heard them all.
But I think like it's just so cool how the rhythm section has such an amazing ability to dictate the groove of how a riff feels.
100%.
You know, like you can just play this repetitive thing, but depending on where the accents are and the voicings you choose, like the part can feel so different.
No, 100%. I think, yeah, that's why I like fell in love with bass. Just how it's the glue to everything.
Definitely.
You know?
A tight rhythm section means the whole band sounds
yeah,
good.
exactly. And like my brother playing drums, it just kind of like made sense, and we always, you know, grew up playing together.
I was gonna ask if you guys jam together.
Yeah, and he plays in my band now as well, so.
Is it ever weird playing with family?
I think it's great, especially for tour. It's so nice to have like a support system
Absolutely.
with you and someone that you trust, and someone that I've known my whole life, obviously. So, like, how'd you get into guitar from being an art teacher? Like, where'd that come from?
I got really sick, in the hospital. I decided to teach myself how to play guitar. Prior to that, I was playing piano and violin, like classically, and I think it was a little intense. Like, I don't know if your parents ever like pushed music on you or anything, but it was totally pushed on me. And guitar for me was magical because it was like the first thing I chose for myself, and to me it represented like a lot of autonomy. So yeah, you know, I played it for fun, and then you know I became an art teacher not thinking that I'd ever have stability being a musician. I just started touring. I think I was like posting videos online, and stuff was popping off, and pretty soon I quit that job, and here I am touring.
Damn, such a cool story.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How did you get, I guess, start touring and all that?
I grew up in New York, and I was just playing all the time, and I would kind of just say yes to like every opportunity. So when I was in high school, I started playing with the music kids at NYU. They would like hire me to play bass in their bands. So it was like every weekend I was just doing a ton of shows. And you just kind of like, because bass players are so hard to come by almost.
Yeah, you guys are gold.
Yeah, it's hard to find us. Yeah, I met a band that was going on like a real tour, you know, in a van. I started playing in that band, and then through that, you know, you meet other people, and then you just kind of like
a chain reaction.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction. And yeah, and then I was like DJing in New York when I was 17, and I would like DJ at these clubs, and I would bring my bass and I would like shred over the DJ set. Yeah, which was really fun. Like all kind of like improvised. Like it was like almost like a way of practicing, you know?
When you say DJing, do you also produce like your own music and everything?
Yeah, so like
That's
now,
badass.
like, thanks. Yeah, so now, yeah, through that I kind of learned how to produce.
Cool.
Yeah. And got into Ableton and, you know, Logic.
Ableton for the win.
Yeah, Ableton's my favorite.
I need to learn Logic still.
Yeah.
I feel like most people don't have a clear image of where they are headed, but you know, you just do the thing you love and you work hard and you just end up somewhere and you're like, whoa.
100%. Like I never thought I would be sitting here right now. Like you just never, you just like, you have your passion and you kind of, you follow that love and that thing, and then it just kind of like leads you wherever you're supposed to go, you know?
Yeah. Out of performing, recording, writing, what do you think is your favorite?
I think performing is my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite. What about you?
Oh man, I had to learn how to like performing.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, my parents would like push me to compete and all that, and I just
right. So it's like a different view of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really was like. It's funny because I'm in a job now where all eyes are on me, but I think I always felt like awkward and nervous in front of people. And music for me is such like a thing that I retreat to inward, and such an outlet for me. So I think I really, really love writing. Like writing makes me just want to get up in the morning. Like I love complimenting other
awesome.
people's parts. But when it comes to performing, I had to learn how to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's all like a learning curve.
In the classical world, you know, everything has to be so perfectly executed
Oh,
and stuff.
totally, yeah.
So going to rock for me was like crazy because
Yeah,
it's like
that's such a different world.
It's like a different mentality and attitude that you have to adopt.
Yeah.
Like instead of focusing on perfection and execution and like following rules, it's almost like you're there just conveying energy and have a good time.
Yeah.
So.
Are you still very like perfectionist in your like playing and writing and same?
I know I get neurotic about
Yeah, I get
stuff,
so like in my head about that stuff for
like,
sure.
That thing was behind the beat and everyone's gonna
Everyone's
hate
gonna
it.
know, yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think it's good that we're talking about this because I think a
Yeah.
lot of these days on social media, like everyone wants to give this illusion of having it all together and having it be perfect and polished. But I don't know, like some of my favorite performances are riddled with human imperfections and things like that.
Totally.
So it's kind of cool that, you know, we're talking about, we do like a billion takes to sound like this. I'm
Sometimes
fine
I
with
don't,
it.
but sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Basically, it depends on the thing, but yeah, I think that's interesting. I always like any of my friends who kind of do a similar thing, you know, post videos and them playing. I always ask them like, "What's your process with that?"
It's weird. I find it tough to balance. Because for me, like, you know, like I mentioned, writing for me is such an inward thing, and
Yeah.
it's hard for me at least to think about it as this outward process that I put on display for everyone. And, you know, certainly I think everyone does to some extent curate what they choose to put online. And it's like when I'm writing, I like don't want anyone around. I don't want to like show anyone anything. I'm so like secretive and weird about it. And then
Yeah.
the end product is what I want to show. But
Yeah.
I'm like you do an amazing job of like just like putting out videos all the time. I get anxious like in
I know,
my
I
head.
get super. I definitely have people like pushing me to do it. But
Yeah.
same when I'm writing, like when I'm writing music, you know, like my music.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to be very like in a very specific state to feel like super creative and free.
How do you get inspired? Like what is something that really makes you want to do your thing?
Honestly, like playing shows, like after I come back from a tour or something, I'm like the most like creatively juiced up.
I think it's because you
guess.
like you're so away from it for a while.
Yeah, when
You
you're like
feel-
away from, and then you like go and you play a show and you're like, oh, this is how these songs are connecting with people. You know, like you see a real reaction from the crowd and the audience.
Definitely.
It gives me like a good, yeah, like surge of confidence almost that
That's
helps
the-
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing that made me start enjoying performances is being
To-
less
yeah.
inside myself and more like, oh, that person's happy. So even
Yeah.
if I think I sound like crap, like I'm having a good time.
No,
so.
totally, because you're making their, you know, you never know how much that performance means to someone.
Definitely.
So yeah, I try to be really present in those moments, and then, yeah, that's when I'm like and then like the next day I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to write again because
Yeah.
like I saw that they were really into this one song and like maybe that's dope and like I should do something. You know, it's like your brain kind of starts going a little bit more. That's how mine works, I guess.
Are you one of those people that can bring Ableton on the road and just bang out?
I'm like trying
beats?
to do that. I'm trying to do that more. I'll do more like lyric ideas or
Nice.
like a vibe or something. Be like, oh, I really want to make a song that
you do
like
the-
feels like this.
The voice recorder thing?
Yeah, I do that, and then like the Notes app. You guys don't want to see my Notes app.
Would you
It's
ever
crazy.
would you ever like play your Notes app for
Absolutely not. It's so embarrassing. It's like like it's like a race. Or like I'll sing. Do you ever like sing guitar parts? Like
All the
I'll be
time.
like bump bump bump, but like I'll like sing
I was-
bass for so very like I literally cannot show anyone.
When I
so
was an
embarrassing.
art teacher, I used to dismiss myself from the classroom and I would go to the bathroom and like
Stop.
sing. And then sometimes my students would be outside. And be
That's
like,
kind of iconic. So did your students know you were just like insane at guitar?
You know what's funny is I like refused to be on social media for a while until my student was like, "You're dumb for not having an Instagram." I'm
Wow.
like, make me, and she's like, "Fine." And she
Give
made
it up
for
to the
me.
kids.
I know.
They
I kind
know.
of owe them my life.
They know what's up. Are you
Yeah.
super? Do you enjoy like teaching guitar as well? Are you into like music education and does that inspire you in any way?
Because I'm self-taught, I think I always have this voice in my head that it's like, you know, you weren't brought up with musical academia, so you're like an imposter, you're a total hack. But what I realize is that there's plenty of teachers out there who can impart wisdom about like theory and like technique. I think where I excel is maybe encouraging people to follow their specific voice, and also I just like, I adore talking about inspiration and how to like trigger creativity for people.
That's awesome.
So I think that's kind of, most of my lessons end up being about like conceptual things and songwriting.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like
That's
teaching?
so cool. I do, yeah. I think I really like mentorship and like taking on more of a mentorship role. Because I think like what you were just saying, it's hard to teach someone how to be an artist. It's like you kind of just are. And you have to be and do your thing.
Yeah.
So you can teach the technique and like skill sets and all that stuff. And then, you know, that's all you can kind of do. And you can impart wisdom and mentor in a way or give advice. And I think that's what my mentors were really good at when I was growing up. Like I just had awesome bass players around me who were, you know, who would teach me like the technical stuff if I wanted to, but also just really good at, just like life advice. Like just how to be an artist is like, you can't really like teach it, just about talking and doing it kind of.
Totally.
But yeah, I'm really into it. I love, like inspiring and empowering people to play bass or guitar, any instrument. Or
a lot of people feel like maybe they're too old to learn or they can't.
People always say that. People are like,
Yeah.
I should have picked up, like, I wish I could play bass. I'm like, you totally can. Like, it doesn't, there's no rules to anything.
You can be like 90 years old.
Yeah, and like, if you can like, you can hold it, you're good, you're good.
And it's such like a fantastic outlet. Like for me, the instrument, not to speak, you know, dramatically, but it saved my life, you know, when I was in the hospital. So I feel like a lot of people, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to excel a certain way and to like keep up with what they think this idea of like a good guitarist or good bass player, good whatever it is. But at the end of the day, like if you're getting something out of it and if you're having fun, I think that's the most important thing.